A year ago, my eGFR had fallen to 27. I was so scared. But then, I started taking acacia fiber and adopted a new diet. I also began using Ganoderma mushrooms to make tea. Last test, which was just 2 weeks ago, showed remarkable improvement. My creatinine is down to 1.20 and my eGFR is up to 62. This shocked both me and my doctor because these levels are within the normal range. Catherine here, I'm a doctor in natural medicine and a researcher in the field of kidney health. And I love when one of you guys posts a success story here on Double O Kidney. So this man used acacia fiber and a whole food diet and he went from stage 4 of CKD to stage 2. And he has also documented in great detail what dose of acacia fiber he is taking, which I thought was interesting. So I will also share that with you as well. And guys, you know that reading your success stories always makes my day. So first of all, thank you very much for sharing your story with us. You should be very proud of this achievement. And guys, if you also have a success story you are proud of, please share it with everyone in the comment section. So this user is named Larry Garcia, and when he posted his story in the comment section, he was immediately asked about his protocol. People wanted to know how he had the results so incredible. I mean, he went from CKD stage 4 to stage 2. And he really went in depth about his own diet. Now, his story started in a similar way to that of many other patients. He was diagnosed with CKD stage 4 due to diabetes 1 year ago. And of course, his doctor immediately started to talk about dialysis. Here's what he says about that. Didn't even realize my kidneys were acting up till about a year ago. I was in the hospital for something else, then the doc told me my kidneys were failing and I might need dialysis, and fast. My eGFR had fallen to 27. I was so scared. Yeah, being diagnosed with CKD is that advanced is one of the worst things that can happen to someone. But what's special about Larry's story is that he never lost his hope. Instead, he got informed, he learned, and he fought back the disease. Here's what he says. So I went home and thoroughly researched kidney function and health. I realized that my diet was quite inadequate and that there were remedies that could help. I started taking acacia fiber and adopted a new diet. I also began using Ganoderma mushrooms to make tea. My last test 2 weeks ago showed excellent results. Creatinine at 1.20 and eGFR at 62, both back in the normal range. Wow, what an amazing improvement! Now, let's find out how he did it. Okay guys, so Larry didn't just share with us his success, he also went in great lengths in sharing his protocol for acacia fiber, his diet, and the use of little known remedy, Ganoderma mushroom. And since he was asked in comment section about acacia fiber in particular, let's start with that, should we? Here's what Larry says about that. Here's the kidney flush I'm doing with acacia fiber. It took just a few weeks to see significant improvement. Okay, this is awesome. I usually don't expect results that fast with acacia fiber alone, but he also started to take it in combination with a renal diet. More about his diet later, because you see, acacia fiber is actually a quite effective remedy. It can help in all the stages of CKD. It works both for those with diabetes and for those without, and most importantly, it can give very tangible results. The reason why this is possible is because it's a detoxifier, alright? It binds and removes uremic toxins such as creatinine from the intestine before they even enter the bloodstream. I mean, in medical literature, acacia fiber was used in high doses in several end-stage renal disease patients with no residual kidney function instead of dialysis. And acacia fiber is so effective that some of them were able to go on for up to 8 years without the need for dialysis. So you can understand why I'm not really surprised that Larry got a huge improvement in his kidney function by taking this remedy. It's like having a third kidney. But let's take a look at his protocol now. On day 1, I mixed a teaspoon of acacia fiber with water and a pinch of Himalayan salt, drinking it before breakfast and lunch. For days 2 and 3, I increased the half a tablespoon of acacia fiber and half a teaspoon of salt in water to boost electrolytes, taking it before meals. Okay, so this is something I always recommend, by the way. When you start a fiber supplement, that could be acacia fiber or metamucil or psyllium husk, you always start with a low dose, alright? This way, you are protecting yourself from the most common side effects of fiber supplements. You know, bloating, digestive issues, discomfort. These are all very common in people who start to take fiber supplements. But if you start with a low dose and then you go up with the dose incrementally in a few days or weeks, your body will have the time to adapt. By the 4th day, I upped the dosage to 3 tablespoons with water. Starting the 2nd week, I took 5 tablespoons of acacia fiber throughout the day. After 4 weeks, I went back to my doctor for urine and blood tests. The results were very encouraging. My creatinine level had dropped from 2.43 to 1.46 and my eGFR had improved from 27 to 44. I explained my regimen to my doctor, who advised me to continue the flash with acacia fiber but omit the salt, as it was no good for me. Okay, thank you Larry for sharing your protocol. And by the way, what an amazing result. And guys, if you think more people should know about this, please consider clicking the like button and also sharing this video on social media. Now guys, of course, the way he is taking acacia fiber works for him. I mean, that's a huge improvement in kidney function, but maybe it could be done even better because, as his doctor says, he didn't really need the Himalayan salt, okay? Himalayan salt doesn't really have health benefits and it's full of sodium that you absolutely don't want in your diet. Now, the rest of what he's doing is actually a sound strategy, and I think he found a great daily dose of psyllium husk. He is taking 5 tablespoons of acacia fiber every day, which is a great dose. Now, depending on your body weight and your stage of CKD, you could take a bit more or a bit less, so my advice here is to find what works for you. What I would recommend to someone starting today with acacia fiber is to ramp up the dose even slower than Larry did. Now, something else I would recommend is maintaining a good hydration if you take a fiber supplement. And well, last recommendation, always take acacia fiber before your main meals. Acacia fiber binds to the toxins the body receives from food digestion. But acacia also has another benefit. It will slow down the absorption of sugar, alright? So it can also help prevent a glucose spike. Last recommendation is to try and take most of your medications away from acacia fiber, alright? So yeah, Larry, if you are watching this video, consider doing these small improvements as well. And guys, if you have questions about acacia fiber, write them down in the comment section. This is a remedy that's not just very easy to use, but it's also incredibly effective. So either if you are already taking it or you want to start it now, let me know if you have questions. Okay, and now you may ask, what about his diet? How is a man who went from stage 4 to stage 2 CKD eating? Well, let's read his comment to my video and find out. Watching Catherine's channel, I realized most of what I was eating was bad for my kidneys and I was eating very few whole foods. I knew I needed to make some drastic changes to reclaim my health and vitality, starting with my diet, which until then was mainly processed foods, meat and dairy. Okay, this is not uncommon at all. They call it the Western pattern diet, and that's because most people eat exactly like Larry did. Pre-made meals, restaurants and fast foods, mocha latte, coffees 3 times a day, very common. A lot of people do that. Most will consider it pretty normal. But what about their kidneys? Will their kidneys consider this diet normal? I understood it was time to switch things up if I wanted to lower my blood sugar and restore my kidney health. Then my doctor told me I was going to need dialysis. That scared me. That's why I went from opening a bag of chips to peeling a banana, and from making a sandwich and opening a beer to making a salad. I decided to eat only what was natural and unprocessed. Amazing! So, a diet based on plants and whole foods but with very little restrictions. Okay, this is an incredible way of protecting your kidneys, because you see, already by removing all that meat, dairy, poultry and junk food from your diet, you are doing something great. These food items are the main sources of scores and toxins such as acid, urea, creatinine, and sodium, sugar, and more. Imagine how much better your kidneys are going to be without all that stuff. This is what Larry says about it. The transition to this whole food diet wasn't without its challenges, but as I embraced this new way of eating, I noticed significant changes. I started losing excess weight and felt rejuvenated and energized. One of the most surprising aspects of eating only whole foods was that I was able to improve my HbA1c level within a few weeks. And yeah, that's the effect of the plant-based diet. And it's not the first time I see this in people with diabetes. They start eating plant-based, they almost always start to see improvements in their fasting blood sugar level and in their HbA1c level. It's like a direct consequence, because you know, if you are type 2 diabetes, there is one thing and only one thing that keeps your fasting blood sugar high. It's body fat. In particular, it's your visceral fat. Visceral fat is hidden body fat, alright? It is basically wrapped around your organs and it suffocates them. In the pancreas, it decreases your insulin secretion. It also causes for inflammation and it damages heart and kidney by causing high blood pressure. Yeah, that's why people feel so good when they lose excess weight. In fact, when you switch to a plant-based, whole foods diet in which all you eat are single ingredient foods such as apples, bananas, salads, potatoes, and so on, it's almost impossible to keep that extra fat on, alright? I mean, you can try, but you should eat 10 times the amount of food someone who eats junk foods eats every day in order to reach the same caloric intake. But trust me when I say that if you eat an apple instead of drinking a can of Coke, you are not going to feel as hungry afterwards. So yeah, this is why a plant-based diet works so well for people with diabetes, like Larry. But guys, there is more to Larry's success with diabetes and CKD than just the diet. He is also drinking Ganoderma tea, which is something I've actually recommended in the past, and that's clearly working for him. Let's see why. So Ganoderma, scientific name Ganoderma lucidum, is something you may have heard me calling reishi mushroom, and I believe using this mushroom to make tea may have really helped Larry. You see, this mushroom has incredible properties, especially when it comes to fighting proteinuria. According to recent research, Ganoderma lucidum protects and even repairs the outer membrane of the nephron, directly lowering proteinuria. It was tested in 14 patients suffering from proteinuria, and something incredible happened during this study. As you can see, Ganoderma lucidum successfully suppressed proteinuria in all of these 14 people, which is really not something you see every day. I mean, they were completely cured from proteinuria, all of them. And of course, this study is coming from Japan, because you see, while in Western countries, Ganoderma lucidum is something you will rarely hear about, in Japan, this mushroom has been an approved adjunct treatment for cancer and other diseases for more than 30 years. In particular, this mushroom seems to be extremely effective against high blood pressure and diabetes. So it's clear how it could have helped Larry. Okay, but now you may ask how to make Ganoderma tea? Well, the first step here is to find Ganoderma mushroom from a reputable source. As usual, my recommendation is to find a nearby herbal shop you can trust. That will be the best way to find these or the other medicinal plants I talk about in my videos. Ganoderma mushroom should be pretty easy to find since it also grows in the United States, and you can buy it dried both from an herbal shop or from Amazon.com as well if you don't have a nearby herbal shop that you can trust. Making tea with these mushrooms is pretty easy. We need around 5 grams of reishi and 5 cups of water. First, cut the mushroom into slices. In the meantime, bring the water to a boil. Use a ceramic or stainless steel pot. Don't use aluminum. Reduce the heat and add the mushroom. Simmer from 2 hours. The tea is ready, but don't waste the slices of mushrooms. You can reuse them to make more tea or as ingredient in your cooking. Now, if you don't want to make a tea every time, but you still want to benefit from the kidney protecting benefits this mushroom offers, consider taking the extract. Ganoderma mushroom extract should be pretty easy to find and to use. In most studies, 750 to 1100 milligrams a day of extract were used to get the results. Okay guys, if you want to see more success stories like this one, my video up here and also down in the description is for you. And this is all for today. Thank you for watching. God bless you all. Bye!